What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Beers and. Today, we're going to be talking about beers
and
and
flags.
flags.
Is there a delay?
Oh, there's definitely a delay.
Oh, all right, good. Oh man, talk about a red flag right off the bat.
Red flag, party foul. What's going on, everyone? If you're watching on YouTube, you can see Alex is wearing his stupid headset. They're slightly green, and that means that we're doing a remote episode.
Are they
What
green?
is going on? Yeah, there's a little bit of green in the top.
Oh, all right. I was gonna say, yeah, you really can't see it, so you're good.
And around the sides, yeah. Green. I love green. So what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode. My name's Alex, and I'm joined remotely this time by my buddy Nick. Nick, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm a real bitch. I will put it to you this way. I'm feeling a real, yeah, I'm a bitch.
Why is that?
I don't know. I'm just cranky.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had a solar
right.
flare. Was that last week or 2 weeks ago?
I don't even remember.
There was a big solar flare, and I think it actually might have been last week. And
we will blame it on that.
Yeah, one of the things that I read that someone came out and said, just expect to feel weird.
Well, that tracks. Yeah,
that tracks. Yeah,
I've been living, I feel like, a Groundhog Day these past couple days.
Oh,
like
that's rough.
God, I need some vitamin D. I need some excitement. I'm feeling very bitchy.
I hear that. Well, hopefully we can provide some excitement for the audience. Guys, like I said, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see my stupid headphones. You can do that on Beers and Podcast, at Beers and Podcast. If you're not, you could also come follow us on Instagram at Beers and Podcast or on Twitter at Beers and One. Nick, tell them where to go if they got any questions or comments.
You can go right to hell, if anything.
Yes.
And if that doesn't work for you, you can email us at beersandpodcast@gmail.com.
Fantastic. So we are drinking today another Trillium beer. No reveal, but we have the can right in front of you. It's called PM Dawn. So this is an American Stout. It's brewed with cold brewed coffee. So this is actually one variant. We have the peanut butter variant. There are a few of them. There's a coconut, there's a cacao, but they're all American Stouts with coffee.
I think that you picked the best one.
Yeah, I'm really hyped for peanut butter and beer. This is going to be one beer. How can I say this? Coming up within the next couple of weeks that we're going to be doing with peanut butter, and there will be another one as well.
Ooh, I like that. I don't even know this. This is exciting. I already started my day with some peanut butter and coffee, so this works out well.
I had a peanut butter and banana.
Perfect.
Little snack before, so we're right on track. So this I haven't had any of the other PM Dawn variants. I would be excited to try the coconut one.
Yeah, the coconut one should sound good. In fact, it's kind of funny. I was shopping a couple days ago, and I needed to get ready for the most bro-y statement. I need to pick up protein, and
hey.
And they didn't have the flavor that I usually get. I get a coconut vanilla usually, which is very good. And I was upset that they didn't have it. And I don't like coconut usually.
You don't. I started to try and do the vegan protein powder.
Yeah, that's the one that I use.
The plant-based. Let me tell you, that taste is if you don't have the right flavor.
Oh yeah,
that taste is hard to get past.
Yeah, the Vega one.
I've had that one before. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the one I have now. I want to say that it is.
I think I had like a peanut butter chocolate one that was okay.
Oh.
And then from another company, I got a plant-based. It was like banana pancake batter or something.
Waking up to
nothing wrong with that. One of my favorite songs.
Make a banana pancake.
That's an Alex karaoke song. Let's get into this beer, man.
Oh, all righty. Let's dive on in.
While we do that, while we pour these lovely looking dark beers, we're gonna do question of the day.
Ooh, what do we got?
Sticking with the theme of flags, I would I'd like to know that if you could change something about our flag, what would it be?
Ooh, if I could change something about our flag. Uh, ooh, that's an interesting one. That's a very interesting one. I
I feel like that's a hard one.
I feel like I would want it to be a little bit more ornate, almost. Like I
Oh, a little more
like,
embellishing.
yeah, like I like New Jersey state flag. I like New York state flag. I think that Maryland actually has like the best one. It's good with
Oh,
the
okay.
fleur de lis, and it's got a little bit more color to it and whatnot. You
I was
know,
going for the U.S. flag, but I'm glad you went state flag.
well, no, what I guess what I'm alluding to is that like I like the fact that those, especially New York and New Jersey, how it's got like Columbia on them, and I think New York's again is says Excelsior on it. Like I think those are like super powerful, and I feel like I'm like stars and stripes and stars and stripes and squares and rectangles. Like it's
Yeah,
easy.
pretty much, right?
Yeah. What would you
Kind of
change about it?
the color palette.
Yeah, what would you go for instead?
I have like a very specific color palette that I love. It's like kind of like muted pastels, but
Ooh.
of purple, like a lilac, like a muted lilac, a muted pale forest green, and like muted teal or cyan, like a blue, green, purple.
That's the flag for the United States of
Yep,
America.
yep, the states.
The states just
So
needs a
yeah,
little bit
colors.
more, little more pastels. That's all.
I feel like the colors are boring, but then after we started researching for this episode, I realized the colors actually mean something.
Yes. It's funny you actually bring it up because I guess it was a couple, 2 days ago. I have your typical, 30-year-old male wardrobe where everything is just color blocked. Like it's just a lot of color blocking all the way through.
Sure.
And I think I did. I had on, a pair of blue pants. I had on a white t-shirt, and I had on I put on like my red cardigan, and I was like, ooh, we're gonna have to reel this in. Like it is the middle of it is April right now, sir. There is no reason why you should be looking like again, oh glory, just to go ahead and pick up your prescription at CVS.
Yeah, we are. Making our way through spring here.
Thank goodness.
I'm a fan. What do you have you smelled the beer yet?
Oh, I haven't done anything yet. I also just got random missed calls.
So it smells very coffee,
Oh,
but also like a nice peanut buttery backbone.
there is a little bit of that peanut butter in the nose that I wasn't expecting.
It almost smells like peanut butter coffee ice cream.
Yeah, you know what? I'll be honest with you. It doesn't seem nearly as thick as I was expecting for it to
doesn't,
be,
right?
which is a little unnerving.
So we said it off camera. This is a 9% stout.
It's a
This
9%.
is up there. But
I didn't think I was going to be taking a nap today, but definitely seems like that is most definitely happening. God, my fingers look chubby on this screen.
Let's see how it drinks.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers.
Clink. Oh my God.
I mean, that is just so smooth.
It is a good thing that we are only seeing the upper half of my body right about now. That is delicious. Holy shit.
Nick in one full swoop took his pants off.
I just slide him right. I still can't say it. Just slide him right off. Kick him right off.
Do you remember in school we had those breakaway pants for gym? Nick just broke them right away, snaps and all.
I stopped wearing those after a while because that's how I broke my wrist.
Fantastic.
Yep. Tripped right over those suckers because you had to have the bottom ones. The bottom 2 or 3 had to be undone at all times. Yep. Tripped right over them, fell on my arm, broke my wrist.
Man, this beer, for it being 9%, is super smooth.
It is. And you know what? Because the fact is that it's a cold brew, it's not terribly bitter. So as a result, I was concerned it was going to be a little bit more porter-esque.
Mm-hmm.
But it actually does have that stout viscousness.
Yeah,
once you actually take that sip, which I wasn't necessarily expecting.
It does. It's a little bit thicker than it leads on.
What else is
weird?
What else is this conditioned on? Do we know?
So I'm looking at the page right now in this little Untapped bio. So it says when started as a special treatment to celebrate our 5th anniversary, this is now a small scale batch. So they start with the base recipe for PM Dawn, and then they slightly dial back the ratio of cold brew Italian roast from Barrington. And then they throw in a heavy dose of peanut butter is what it says. So we should be getting, which I'm definitely getting, freshly ground peanuts, chocolate peanut butter milkshake, 100%. Hints of dark plum from the coffee, which I haven't had yet.
I actually do feel like that is present.
Really?
Yeah. It's difficult because that dark plum flavor is easily masked. And like sometimes like blends in, and blends in with the coffee in such a way,
Wow, this is great.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a very big fan of this.
This is great, man. I'm happy I have an entire glass of it.
I am too.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
I was gonna say, yeah, this is not one that I would necessarily want to split, but that's okay. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude. I'm just answering a quick text. I apologize. I usually don't get 2 calls in a row.
You're so popular.
Yeah, you know me. You know me.
You know what it is? Everyone knows we're recording.
That's exactly what it is.
They just want to get in on the show.
Yeah, I bet. I'm curious if that is the case.
This beer makes me really excited to try the other PM Dawns.
I know the coconut one does sound good. I don't know how I felt about what was the other choice that was in there?
There was one that was cacao.
I feel like with the cacao, it would make it too bitter then. And as a result, I wouldn't like it as much. I like the fact that it's got some of that it's a little bit smoother.
Me too. And the peanut butter really makes this beer, I think.
I'm going to go a solid 4. Personally, feels like a good solid 4. It could have a little something extra that I don't think would hurt it at all. I think maybe if you had even like a little berry note, like I like a good dark chocolate with like raspberry, maybe even like a little blood orange, just something to cut it.
What if it was banana?
Then I think it would be too kitschy. I think it would take away. Yeah, I think it would then take away from some of the, for lack of a better term, like sophistication, if you will.
Because it is very simple.
It is simple, but it's refined, much like us.
Very nuanced.
Very nuanced.
Subtle nuances in these Jersey guys,
to a frightening degree.
It's dang good. I'm a little higher than you. I think I'm around a 4.3.
Really?
Yeah, the peanut butter really shines. And it's so smooth for 9%.
I feel like I could have the peanut butter a little bit more in times.
I would be okay with more as well, but it's very nicely balanced.
All right.
Coffee and peanut butter. I'm not a big ice cream guy, but I might start having coffee and peanut butter ice cream together.
That does sound interesting. Huh.
I feel like that's a winning combination.
All right, let's get Ben and or Jerry on the phone and we'll see what we can do.
I feel like it only works one way. It's Ben and Jerry.
Oh, I don't know.
Conference call?
Maybe. We'll get them on the line right now.
I think that's a good idea. All right, so that's pretty good. We're both pretty high on it.
Yeah. I think that is
solid
a good one.
Beer. Trillium keeps impressing.
As always.
Yep. They kill it. Why don't you you know what? I'm gonna kick us off actually.
Sure.
Because pun intended, I'm going with NFL flags.
Oh.
See what I did there? A little kickoff.
Oh, there we go. I was actually gonna ask, like, where's the pod?
So flag, NFL penalties, fouls, they're called flags. Referees throw the flags on the field when there's an infraction.
Yeah.
So the NFL definition, this is from the NFL handbook, the rule book. A foul is an infraction of a playing rule for which a penalty is prescribed. So essentially, a foul is a penalty.
Okay.
There are 57 total possible penalties that could occur in a game of football. So it's broken down into there's offensive penalties, defensive penalties, and then there's penalties that everyone can get. Doesn't matter. But 57. We'll get into the types. 57. Yeah, what an interesting number.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but I'm assuming that it probably like expanded over time.
Yeah, they've added new rules even just up until like a couple of years ago.
Oh,
So
okay.
there are many types of fouls. There are what's called live ball fouls. So when the ball's in play, there are dead ball fouls when the play is over. You could have fouls in between downs, and you could also have multiple fouls. Finally, my favorite, you can have double fouls.
A double
But
foul.
so multiple fouls and double fouls sounds kind of like the same thing,
Yeah.
but it's not. So multiple fouls would be multiple fouls on one team during one play.
Okay.
You and I on the same team, we both get a foul. That would be multiple fouls. Double fouls would be a foul on both teams during the play.
Oh, okay. You see, when you say that, I thought for a second like fines are doubled in like work zones, like when you're on the road at that point in
No,
time, where
no,
it's like,
no.
okay, all right,
Yep,
huh?
yep. So there are also varying degrees of punishments. So there are 5, 10, and 15-yard penalties, flags. Um, there's also some that occur at the spot of the foul. So like if you're defending me and I'm running downfield and the quarterback throws me the ball, but you tackle me before it gets there,
Yeah.
then that penalty happens where you tackled me.
Okay. I feel like they need to up the punishments. Let's make it really interesting, like cat and nine tails
Like
on
how
the 30.
interesting.
Yeah, cat and nine tails right on the 30-yard line.
Flames start shooting out of the yard markers. Yeah, that's probably a bad idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you bring out like an old, dark ages torturer and one for the
An Iron
crown.
Maiden. So there's there are others, like I said, there are the fouls that happen at the spot of the foul. Some fouls involve a loss of down, so you like totally lose your playing down,
Mm-hmm.
and others can even lead to ejection. So
Oh,
some of the funnier flags, at least I think so. One of them is it's called too many men on the field.
yeah. How does that
So
happen?
so either team can get penalized for this. Sometimes the offense snaps the ball. So like in between plays, the defense might try and substitute players, but there's no like they don't call a timeout for it. People just run on and off the field. So sometimes the offense snaps the ball before all the defensive guys get off the field
Yeah.
and they call the penalty, even if they're like running off 1 foot on, doesn't matter. Or sometimes like the defense just messes up and 12 people are out there. So like people come in for substitutions and one guy doesn't leave, people don't notice, and then before you know it, you got a penalty.
I feel like that's a good example as to some of the head trauma that's taken. If we can't keep track of 12 guys, like that sounds
For
like that's
real
a
though.
bit of an issue at that
And
point.
that's the players and the coaches. Like that's on everyone.
And the coaches, there are like 9.5 of them per team, aren't there?
There are quite a few.
You see, I'm calling shenanigans on this whole NFL. I see right through you. I see right through you and your racket. You
Yes.
are a racket.
There's also one more that I think is funny. It's called leaping.
Ooh.
So leaping only can occur when the ball is being kicked for field goal or for extra point attempts. This is when the defensive player leaps over the long snapper right when the ball is snapped in an attempt to block the kick. So this happened for a while, and now there's actually a flag against it. And you probably know one of the guys who made this very famous. His name is Troy Polamalu. Super Hawaiian, long, dark, curly hair.
Oh, actually,
He's been in
yes. That
like
that does
Head
make
and Shoulders
sense.
commercials. Yep.
Yes. Okay.
So he made this really famous because he would time it up and leap over the line and like tackle people as soon as they get the ball, or like jump over and try and block the kick. But now it's illegal because it is kind of dangerous. You know, you're jumping over someone while they're bent over. What if you kick them in the head or
Yeah,
fall on them? It's dangerous.
it is.
So there's a
Again,
rule against it.
still one of those things where it's like, of all the things we're gonna pick out of being like potentially dangerous, like helmet to helmet contact, whatever. But
They call the some people call the NFL the no fun league because they do like stupid stuff like that. Like
oh yeah, you
take
see, that to me would be
that
fun.
stuff.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Or like,
Bring it
they took
back.
away celebrating for a year or two. like celebrating after a touchdown. That was a penalty.
Yeah, that's that I never understood.
Yeah, it's silly. Let the guys celebrate.
Yeah, it's impressive. I sure as shit can't do what they do. Like, I'd be
Right.
excited also.
1% of the population of the world gets to the NFL.
Well, I think it's like the same sort of thing of like how in like soccer, you're not allowed to like take your shirt off. Like a lot of times they'll take their shirt off. That's
Right.
like against the rules now. Like I say, let the boys be boys. You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
My guess is that if the NFL goes ahead and never like capitulates, they might some might say would be waving the white flag, perhaps.
Hey,
Look at that smooth transition.
very smooth.
So I was curious about the white flag. Where did this come from? What is this all about? So it's an internationally recognized symbol of truce or ceasefire and for negotiation and of surrender. And it's really the first couple ones, because the assumption is that if you're waving it like as a show of surrender, that your desire is still to negotiate and actually come to some sort of like amicable agreement. It's also flown over ships that function as what are referred to as like humanitarian cartels. So like if you work for Amnesty International and you're delivering like aid to war-torn areas, those ships also fly a white flag.
Oh,
So when it's flown, whomever is flying it cannot be shot at or shoot either. And the improper use of it is forbidden by what are known as like the rules of war. And any sort of violation of that is considered to be a hate crime, a war crime. So like if you,
wow, really?
yeah. So like if we're in battle, I wave a white flag and, you know, you acknowledge that white flag. If I start to like walk over to you then or whatever, and I like open fire, technically I am then committing a war crime. Because,
Wow.
yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, but it's known to happen. It doesn't seem like it's something that's necessarily enforced very often. So the first mention of the white flag being used as a sign of surrender actually dates back to 12 AD during the Eastern Han Dynasty. However, and then it kind of just picked up, and like all of a sudden what started to happen was that other sort of like explorers and conquerors of lands started to realize that different peoples in different places all seem to be using this white flag method. They don't know how it kind of all spread, but all of a sudden it was like, oh shit, everybody seems to know this as a sign of surrender. But it's also meant different things and serve different purposes to different groups. So during the Ancien regime in France, during the early 17th century and through the early 18th century up until about 1830, during this period, it was standard for the French royalty to like fly white flags, and it symbolized purity and was also used during military command. In fact, the French that had come here to fight during the American Revolution fought under a pure white flag the entire time, which I had never known that. And then there were two other things that I kind of found. So like more recently, the flag was used during like early on in the pandemic. So like the Belgian royal palace had raised a white flag that was supposed to like thank, you know, caregivers and, you know, aid members, and all of a sudden like people throughout Belgium were waving white flags. And in Malaysia, it started as a social media campaign. So like if you were a family that was like all of a sudden struggling with financially and as a result like needed food, you would put a white flag outside your door and people would drop off food to your home, which I thought was pretty cool.
That is really cool. And that must be more recent than anything.
Yeah, it does seem like it might take a little bit of a cue from something that's known as Operation White Flag. I don't know. I had never heard of it. I'm going to assume that you maybe not, have never heard of it either.
No, definitely not.
Probably because we're not from Kentucky. So like there's something that's known as right, weird way to build up to that. there's something that's known as Operation White Flag, which happens in the Louisville metro area during periods of severe weather or extreme cold or hot. So when the wind chill is below 35 degrees or the heat index is above 95 degrees, like participating shelters will put a flag outside for those, folks who are homeless and whatnot, and basically says like, it's not safe for you to be outside, come into these shelters and you can stay here as long as the white flag is in effect, regardless of like if we have enough beds or whatnot, because you just shouldn't be exposed to the elements.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah,
I like that. I like that a lot.
yeah, I thought like what a simple sign that anybody can go ahead and utilize.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was surprised also. Doesn't seem like a lot of other places have anything like this in place.
I never heard of that. I think that's one of the coolest things. Like, just aid.
Super
It's
easy.
so important. It's so important. It's super easy. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take us to another white flag.
Oh,
I'm going to take us to the checkered flag. One such that would be waved to signify the end of a car race. Yeah, that was pretty good.
was it?
That was pretty good.
Thanks. I've
I
been
even
working
got a
on my
little.
car
I
sounds.
felt like I was shaking. When they drive by, I even got a little bit of the.
To be honest with you, it's because I kicked the stool that my computer's on. To be honest with you.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, yep, they're waved to, be the official end of a car race. There's actually no standard design for the checkered flag, which I thought was kind of cool. Though typically they're always, they always consist of black and white squares or rectangles in a checkered board pattern. So the number and size and the proportions of the flag of the shapes do vary from flag to flag. Actually, interestingly enough, whereas NASCAR and F1 racing, one flag is waved, in IndyCar, two flags are waved simultaneously in a tradition dating back to 1980, the Indianapolis 500. So I actually did a little digging on this, and I couldn't find anything that expressly said why this became a tradition, just that this happened and that's what they started doing.
That's interesting because also like 1980 is not terribly, it's not even so much that it's not terribly long ago, but it's not like that was the beginning of IndyCar racing.
You're absolutely right.
Huh.
So actually they only wave two flags if the race is under green conditions. So that just means no cautions. So
but it's
nothing on the course. Yep.
But it's
at the end of the race. Yep.
That's interesting.
Well, I guess because a race can end in yellow condition, which would mean like either a hazard on the track or like a weather hazard.
Okay. Yeah, I was forgetting the fact is that there could be like, an accident at any one point in time and there are wheels and debris all over the place.
And good old debris. So actually at the at IndyCar, they customize each checkered flag. So after your team wins, you get a checkered flag with the date and race name sewn onto it. Almost like a trophy. You get it with your trophy, and teams take this home as a prize. Actually, in fact, teams will typically like put this up around their headquarters and like hang them as pennants. So they're kind of like banners for other sports team. Like when you go to a hockey arena and there's all the banners hanging around up in the rafters.
Yeah.
So they use them as trophies.
That I appreciate, especially from IndyCar, at least. NASCAR, meh. But IndyCar, that's impressive thing. More turns.
Yeah, no, definitely. Speaking of
faster.
NASCAR, starting in 2017, they started instituting the use of a white and green checkered flag.
Why is that?
That's also a good question, and I couldn't find anything on it, but I will say that I do like the white and green. It's much more aesthetically pleasing, I would say.
Is it because of your headphones?
It's because it's green, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So the checkered flag actually originated in a race in 1906. It was a road rally at the Glidden Tours. I don't know if you're familiar with those.
No.
So they were promotional events held by AAA, and they were used to promote safer roads and such for the public. So, kind of like a rally promoting safe driving and safe road habits and all this stuff. So they used to hold rally races at these promotional events. So in 1906, they held one. And this guy named Sidney Walden, he divided the course into sections. So the sections had race officials, and these race officials were called checkers because they were used to record the time at the end of each section.
Oh, that's
genius. They would carry around a checkered flag identifying themselves while the cars were racing. And
That's
thus
brilliant.
They were born. Yeah, and thus they were born checkers. That's how.
That name, Sidney Walden,
Mm-hmm.
that sounds incredibly familiar.
Mm.
Like,
yeah, no, that was new to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was from an episode of like Top Gear for some reason that's sticking out in my mind.
Could be.
Or the Grand Tour. I apologize. One
So
of the
it's very highbrow view.
Yeah, you know me. Nothing but the best. Nothing but the best.
Yeah, so pretty cool. That's a cool little story. What a simple way for that name to come through. I didn't know that it was spelled with a Q. So it's like ChequueRed.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I know that that's the way
Both ways.
I was just gonna say no. I know that that's the way that you spell check. The English way is Cheque.
That's so funny you say that.
Yeah, as in like to write a check.
So I've seen it both ways.
Yeah, like a checkered flag. I know I've seen only the one way, but I've seen.
Yeah, I guess they're interchangeable.
Like to write a check. Huh. That is interesting. Then, yeah, why they would do that? We don't do well with the QUEs. In our version of English. No, not at all.
One of my least favorite words has QUE in it.
Which one?
Q.
As in Q.
Like I'm standing in a
QE.
Yep.
Oh, that is a stupid word.
I hate that word.
I don't like peak. Like as in it.
As in PICK or PICQUE or PIQUE, whatever it is.
Yeah. As in like it piqued my interest.
Yeah.
Shut up. PIQUED. No, that means it PK'd. Dumb.
You're gonna be getting a text from me. Okay. Any minute now.
Yeah.
Please disregard until my next bit.
Okay. I won't pay attention at all then.
Okay.
In that case, what should I do here? Do we want to hear something about oh my goodness, there's so many things that just popped up.
That would be mine.
Multiple things. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna turn that over then. Oh,
that is proof, everyone, that I just texted Nick.
Yes, very much so, because
just in case you were questioning my integrity.
I was gonna say, and the level of professionalism that we work with, that I just let it go ahead and stay on vibrate and vibrate multiple times then. I will tell you about I'll go with this one, and then we'll end with something fun. Or at least, I'll say my last story to be the most fun one.
Sure.
So I had come across something having to do with a painting that is called The Flag. And it was by Georgia O'Keeffe. You're familiar with Georgia O'Keeffe?
I am, in fact.
So again, a predominant, she's considered to be like the leading female artist of the modern, like modernism movement. She's, often known for, a lot of paintings of lilies that look very, very much like a lady's anatomy, for lack of a better term. But I had come across this painting called The Flag. And actually, I wonder if I can share my screen with you real quick. Let me see what I can do here. Just vamp.
The modern marvels of the world. They truly are wide and great. I will say that I do know Georgia O'Keeffe, and I'm not a big art person. So for me to know anyone in the art industry is few and far between.
Okay, so
what you got?
Let me share my screen.
I must say, I don't recall them looking like the female anatomy, but I could be wrong.
So this is the flag.
Okay.
All right. The painting, again, called Georgia O'Keeffe's painting called The Flag. It's a very, very simple painting. However, the backstory behind it, I thought was quite interesting. So, just so we can see each other again. There we are. And
Lovely.
Right, all back, all beautiful, all the time. So what wound up happening was that the painting was completed in 1918, and it had represented, so she had claimed, her like anxiety and her nervousness about her brother going off to fight in the First World War, or in World War One. So the war had been controversial to begin with. Like for many Americans, we were very reluctant to actually get involved. And it was particularly due to some of like the modern war tactics. This is the first war where we had like active machine guns, we had, mustard gas, we had tanks, we had military aircraft. So her brother, Alexius, was one of the first American soldiers to be sent off to go fight in France. And in France is where quite a bit of this mustard gas was being used. So she was really nervous about, the way that he was maybe going to come back, make it through the war itself. So she had visited him before he had left in the fall of 1917. And a couple months later had claimed that it was the first time she had felt compelled to paint from a sense of necessity. Like usually it was a matter of, which, the difference sometimes between true artists where, they paint out of
definitely
the beauty of the, of the scenery, of the inspiration, but like not like I need to paint something.
Mm-hmm.
So further on, and going into 1918, she had actually fallen into like a deep state of depression and resulted in her not painting for like 3 or 4 months. Later on, then she had developed influenza during the pandemic of 1918, like so many other Americans did. And she had gone off to go and kind of recoup in San Antonio. So that's where she had wound up completing the piece. Now, we saw the image before. So according to her biographer, a woman by the name of Roxana Barry Robinson, O'Keeffe sets a drooping flag against a starless, darkening sky. The flag flutters limply, stripped of its stars and stripes. Its only color, and that of the pole, is blood red. So despite the fact that O'Keeffe had started to like gain some accolades and whatnot at this time, anti-war sentiment was criminalized in the United States under the Espionage Act of 1917. And which I actually wrote down, which is an entire conversation of fuckery for another day. Because it really was. There was an amendment that was added onto it actually like a year later, which is like the Sedition Act of 1918, which was kind of tacked on, which essentially had prohibited any interference with military operations, recruitment. It was meant to prevent insubordination in the military and to prevent the support, quote unquote, the support of like enemies of the US during wartime. So essentially it was illegal to speak out against the war, about the military, about the government. Right. So as a result, that painting was never displayed to the public until 1968.
Wow.
It remained in a private collection and wasn't then actually given to a museum, which was the Milwaukee Museum of Art, until 1977. So you're talking about roughly 60 years of, a painting by, again, like you had said, one of the most well-known and well-recognized American artists for 60 years, because otherwise, she could have realistically been put in jail if anybody ever had thought like, this is anti-war sentiment or propaganda, or which is, which I kind of came across that story and I was like, that's fucking weird, and totally unlike so many of her other paintings. So yeah, little something there, little highbrow for you today on Beers and.
We love that.
Right?
We strive for that. Yep, that's what we do. So you received my texts.
I did. Can I open them?
You may open them.
Okay.
We're gonna play a game, and I have this titled "Weird Flags for Nick."
Oh no. Oh no.
So
Okay.
we're gonna go flag by flag,
Okay.
and I want you to start with I guess the top one.
Which
Yeah,
is the
the
blue
green and red and yellow.
with the star?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say that that's the flag of Somalia.
Okay. Great guess, but it's actually the flag of Mozambique.
Oh damn it! I
So,
was
so
so close.
we're gonna flash these on the screen for you guys. If I was more prepared, I would have them for the screen share, but I'm not. So we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. So that's the flag for Mozambique. It is the only national flag featuring a modern assault rifle.
Yeah.
That
Holy
is the
shit.
yep, it's the AK-47. I did not get a story behind that, but I will say that I think that's a really cool flag.
I actually like that shade of like green blue in the top there.
Pretty cool,
That
right?
like
It's
aqua.
it's like
Yeah.
yeah, that's exactly like aqua something.
Yeah, I
Okay,
like that
okay.
one.
So let's go down to our next flag.
Okay. I am going to say that that is the flag of Oman.
I didn't even know that was a country. No, this is the flag of Nepal. It
Oh,
is
and you know
the
what? Shit, because it's the only triangular one. God
it's
damn
the
it.
only national flag that's not a rectangle.
I should have asked if the black was part of it or not, because I should have known that. And I clearly didn't.
Oh yeah, it's just the message background.
But so Nepal.
So that's the flag of Nepal. Like I said, it's the only non-rectangular flag, and also the the two pennants together, like what that's supposed to represent,
Yeah.
are the peaks of Everest.
Oh, that's smart.
And you guys are going to see this. Maybe not on time with me talking,
No,
but you're going to see it.
I'll do it all in post.
Okay, let's go down to our next one. This one might be my favorite flag, and I
Is
didn't
this
notice the smiley face at first.
I did, but is this Pakistan?
It is the North Caucasian Emirate flag.
Is that a country?
It was a country for a short period of time,
Oh,
about 6 years as a country.
Really?
You know,
I feel a little cheated on that one.
I
I'll be
had
honest.
I had to pick like interesting ones because most of them are very boring, if I must say so myself.
Although the smiley face really takes
Actually, it's kind of nice,
the edge
isn't it?
off, right? It
I
almost
don't
seems
think
like
that
something like
was
a child would
planned.
make.
Yeah, I don't think that was planned, but they rolled with it. So
Okay.
okay, so your next flag is reminiscent of, well, China's flag,
A little bit.
I would say.
Is that a hint?
No, this is a
Okay.
tough one.
I'm gonna
I didn't
say
even know this was a country.
that this is the flag of.
There's a stan at the end of the name.
Oh, I was gonna say there's a stand. I'm gonna say Turkmenistan.
Oh, great guess. It's actually Kyrgyzstan.
Kyrgyzstan, damn it.
Kyrgyzstan.
Okay.
Yep. So it's actually a ball, like a sun ball.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty cool looking.
I like that one too.
What
See,
about
these
the
are
oh,
slightly
sorry.
better than ours.
Yeah, they are. I would say yes. What about the one directly underneath that?
Is that the flag of, I'm gonna say like imperialist Japan?
It's the flag of Bhutan.
Oh,
Your guess was pretty good. So
I'm feeling good
this
with these.
this yeah, you're pretty good.
They're all
guessing, even though
wrong,
you have no
but
idea. Yeah, but still pretty good guesses. So the yellow in this flag represents the king's power, while
Mm,
orange represents Buddhism. And I mean, it's a flag with
that's
a dragon as an
huge
insignia.
dragon.
Yeah.
That
So like,
looks
why
like
wouldn't that be cool?
that looks like. Oh, I thought for a second he was like holding like an eyeball in his hands, and I was like, that's pretty badass.
There's actually a couple different pictures of the flag with different dragons on it, all the same flag like base, but different style dragons. I picked the coolest one.
I sometimes feel bad for certain country names. Like I know it's the way it's pronounced Bhutan, but it sounds like, the way that, in Italian, you insult maybe a lady at times. I don't like
Fair?
to say what it is, but you know.
No, probably not. And finally, our last flag for weird
Oh,
flags for Nick. This one you
oh,
might know because this actually is like I would say one of the main countries in the world.
is
Do you
this?
want a hint?
I'm gonna guess first,
Okay.
and I'm going to guess and say, is this Malaysia?
It is actually the flag of Greenland,
Really?
and this is the only Scandinavian flag with no Scandinavian cross.
Oh, why?
That is a phenomenal question. I was more entranced by the fact that it's pretty much just Japan's flag,
Oh,
but off center and color flipped
yeah, it is. I
for the
wonder if
most
it's
part.
supposed to represent, because doesn't Greenland like go up into the like North Pole, and as a result, doesn't the North Pole kind of like straddle as a result, then becoming like north and south after a certain point?
Yeah.
Right, like when you're on the top of the North Pole, you're at the furthest point north, but every direction you go in is technically south.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right.
I wonder if that's what it's from.
Oh,
Huh.
that's trippy. Every direction you go. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. These were awesome.
These are cool.
What a good idea.
Cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it, even though you were terrible at it.
I know I was within at least probably 500 to 1,000 miles of
You're better than I was,
yeah, well,
or I would be, I should say.
I'm a sad man that enjoys geography, I guess is really what it is.
Nothing sad about that.
No, not at all. So I decided, like I said, to kind of save my last piece of flags for being what I thought was particularly fun. So in the lead up to America's involvement in World War II, there was, if you will, like an explosion of like hyper patriotic superheroes. Dude, an absolute shit ton of them. You know, we're talking things that there was
Really?
like, oh my god, there were ones that were called like, there was like Miss Victory, there was like Yank and the Doodle, there was a whole bunch of them, and that's not an exact, like, it was called Yank and the Doodle.
Yank and the Doodle.
There was the Star Spangled Kid. So I found two, and the first one, aptly, was called Captain Flag. And Captain Flag was created by MLJ Comics, which we would probably know now as like Archie. Yeah, like that's what it eventually turned into in 1941. And it was first written by Joe Blair. And the story had surrounded where Captain Flag faces off against the Black Hand, a super criminal working for the Nazis. And then in the next strip, they had introduced his supporting character, Veronica Darnell. She was introduced as a blonde bombshell Secret Service agent. So the backstory to Captain Flag: Tom Townsend is a wealthy playboy and the son of a famous inventor. He and his father are both kidnapped. I don't want to do the voice the whole time. Are both kidnapped by the Black Hand and tortured to learn the secrets of his father's newest invention. His father is killed. But before Tom could be, what else would happen but a bald eagle swoops in to the window, takes him, and carries Tom off. Okay? Saves him from being killed.
Fantastic.
Eagle takes him back to his nest and basically trains him in addition to like the healthy environment, so they claim, and he develops superhuman strength. So then one day, the eagle, okay. Yep, one day the eagle brings him an American flag. With this, he uses the American flag to then sew himself a costume, thus becoming Captain Flag. Together then with the eagle, whom he names Yank the Eagle, not to be confused with Yank and the Doodle.
Right.
They go on to defeat the Hand. So that's Captain Flag. Not to be confused with the Flag, who was also introduced in 1941. And the character only lasted for less than a year. So, the backstory. Disabled war veteran and flag maker John Courtney, also referred to as Old Glory, finds a baby boy on his doorstep on Flag Day with a birthmark that resembles the American flag.
What?
John takes him in, names him Jim, and raises him as his son. There's something about this boy. He says, I've got to go ahead and take this kid in. On Jim's 21st birthday, he has a vision of George Washington and Abraham Lincoln that come to him, telling him that, quote, his life was selected by us to perform hard and dangerous tasks. So with this, he develops the powers of super speed and the strength of 100 men, and he can't be hurt by any weapons. And all of these powers are activated when he touches his birthmark.
Wow.
Because of the fact, and you said it earlier, that the internet is such a beautiful thing. Would you like to see what Captain Flag looks like?
I feel like I need to.
I found the first edition. Someone had uploaded the entire first comic of the Flag, and I had to stop myself from reading all 66 pages.
Oh my God. It was 66 pages.
66 pages.
I didn't know comics were that long.
What else were they doing in the 40s?
Writing terrible scripts because I feel like we could do much better.
Evidently.
I feel like he's gonna look like damn, what was his name? Do you remember Dexter's Lab?
Yeah.
Who was the Captain America look-alike superhero from Dexter's Lab?
Oh, that I don't remember.
Captain Justice. Oh my God, look at this guy.
That's Our Flag Comics.
Look at this guy. This is very clearly a Captain America ripoff.
Oh,
but I mean,
but the best part is again, there's Old Glory. A baby. Someone
there
has
goes the
abandoned a
doorbell
baby on my doorstep. In the back of his shop in an eastern city, John Courtney, crippled war veteran and flag maker, works when.
This is insane.
It's so good.
And then he's not even the one who becomes the superhero.
No, of course not, because John clearly goes ahead and has these visions all of a sudden from. But what's so, let me tell you, for a time that was super like, aware and like conservative about a certain, number of things, the latent homosexuality in some of these like comics, like, where is it?
Where else is someone going to sneak it in, Nick? That's what I want to know. I like how he's got the flag birthmark.
The years swept by, and under Old Glory's care, the adopted boy Jim excelled in sports, studies, and all he attempts and grows to strapping manhood. Like, come on. Seriously now?
You can make anything sexually undertoned if you try hard enough.
I don't know. There's still something about the idea of like referring to someone as like, what a strapping young man. Like, oh, just it's a creepy term used by old people.
Yeah, that's the time. That was the times though, wasn't it?
I am not a fan. Not a fan.
Yeah, that's why we don't use that use that moniker much anymore.
It's a good thing too. This beer has actually lasted me a long time. Still very good.
I killed mine a little bit ago, but I was very impressed with.
Yeah, it's
with
really
this beer.
I feel like a little bit less of a bitch now.
That probably helps.
Yeah, I think well, that doesn't show you that I use alcohol for to go ahead and cope. I don't know what does.
Never. What? We just use it because it
Never.
tastes delicious.
Exactly. And
And
it's
we
a
like to
delicious
do research for science.
exact for science.
Because this,
Exactly.
whenever I go out and buy beer, and Christina's like, more beer? We already have beer at home. So this is for science.
For science.
This is for research and science.
Come on.
And how dare you try and come between a man and his conquest for science? One would say.
One would say.
I
you,
would say.
good sir. Better
I
hope
would
that she doesn't hear this episode.
She's going to. I would say, everyone, it was a pleasure having you here with us. Please stay tuned for the socials. Please stay tuned for Nick's lovely voice. And come join us next time.
Yep.
We're going to be back with another beer and another story.
Exactly. All right. We'll see you then.
Nick, have a good time. I'll see you soon, my friend.
I'll see you soon, buddy. Goodbye.
Be good, everyone.